A key-value database is a NoSQL database. Let's talk about some high-level guidelines for designing a key-value database. When we design a key-value database, the conceptual and logical design phases are relatively straightforward because the database schema is not complex. But the physical design phase could get very complex, especially if we have a distributed key-value database. Here are some high-level guidelines for designing a key-value database. We want to use the data types which will meet our data requirements, but will not take more space than necessary. This will allow us to put more data in the memory for processing and significantly improve performance. We want to implement a good hashing algorithm. A good hashing algorithm can allow us efficiently store the data in storage and retrieve the data from storage. If we have a distributed key-value database, in other words, if we have a key-value database stored on many computers, then we want to pay attention to sharding. Simply speaking, sharding means we will break up a large key-value database into smaller pieces and store each piece on a single computer. We will use a good hashing algorithm to implement efficient and effective sharding. It will allow us to evenly store data on multiple computers. Also, will allow us to quickly retrieve the stored data for processing. We want to enhance the key-value database with replication, especially if we have a distributed key-value database. We use replication to create multiple copies of the same data. If one computer fails, we can still get the data from other replicas. Since we have multiple copies of the same data, we want to implement an algorithm to synchronize the copies so that we have data consistency. Lastly, in order to improve query performance and the performance of read operations, we want to allocate as much memory as possible. We can also use disk space for caching together with the available memory to improve performance. This concludes our brief discussion.